it's Digital Wednesday. So we are going to take this picture that I drew of Ghostrider. I was just in the middle of working on something, and I was like, you know what, this would be a good one for Wednesday, is to kind of take a heavily inked image and kind of bring it to life, with uh, learning how to do some fire and some things like that in the background, okay? So if you want to, you can take a screenshot of this, okay, and you can do your best to trace over it. um, it might take you a minute or so, but hey, you might be able to, get into these white areas and just erase out whatever background you put is coming on with that. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. So I have my lines layer, which is what you want to call yours, right? Now, Ghost Rider is real heavy and has a lot of black on, so that's why the inking is so heavy. But what we want to focus on is the fire aspect of everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to um, add a new layer, and I'm going to put it underneath my lines for now, and we're just going to call this color. Okay. So since there's a lot of flame coming on my character here, I'm going to kind of come down here to this kind of brown, orangey, yellow kind of color. Okay. And I'm going to take a regular brush tool, right? And just in the black areas, oops, it might be helpful. Let's do this first. Let's click and grab our magic wand and just let that kind of select everything, and then we'll go inverse. Okay, and then I'm going to just hit the mask button, and that'll keep me inside the line. So just kind of everywhere that's black, I'm going to put in, let's see, let's change the color up some. Let's come down to more of this brown orange here. And let's zoom in so we can see our work. Okay, so even like with the belt here on the hands, now if you notice, I'm going to leave the belt buckle be. I'm not going to color that in with the orange. So we can just kind of erase that out. And then with the rest of it, and I'm going to do the same thing for like the spikes and things like that. We're going to do those a silver color. So the rest of it, we're just going to color in orange. And you can see with all the heavy, black inking on there, it doesn't take us that long to fill it in. I am going to try and not touch the actual area that I'm going to get the flame color for. So we're just going to kind of leave that be. Now I am going to come over here to my gray. I'm going to kind of darken it some. Okay, I'm going to come in here. And just get my color flats for the metallic areas as well. Now this, I use my color picker by pressing Alt. This should be orange. Back here, hold Alt again to switch back. Okay, so just for now, we're going to kind of put that in here. Okay. And what I think I'll do is we're going to change up our method here real quick. I know I did everything in orange. But let's try and I'm going to do the belt that silver color as well. And now that we have that filled in, like if I want to come back, let's go to the more the black tone, right? I can just pick on the color and it'll switch it for me. Okay. So now we have a nice little setup with kind of like a lighter gray with that, and then the rest is all black. The next thing I want to do is kind of color in my skull. So we're going to kind of keep it in this, beige, and get kind of like a bone white. So like up here in this corner. And I am just going to fill in parts of the skull. Again, if we go outside a little bit and get into the flame area, that's fine. We can just erase some of it or just paint over it. And I'm just going to follow that down on the face here. Okay, so we have ourselves a nice little outline here. Now the next thing I want to do is kind of get the base going for my fire color here. So I'm going to go with more of a tinted orange like that, or a tinted yellow. Okay, and we're going to color that in as well, and this will just be a base color. It's not going to be our final thing that we're putting in here. It'll just be kind of like a base overlay. Another reason I wanted to share this with y'all is I've actually never tried to draw or paint Ghostrider because I was always intimidated by the colors and the detail that goes into the fire and the outfit. He just wears all leather because he's a biker. So this is the Johnny Blaze version, obviously. Okay, so we're just going to continue down. And make sure we get some of the spots we went over on. Come back, repick, and just finish making our way around. Again, if we go over, just kind of pick and grab. Alright, and just keep finishing that. I'm sorry. I know every time I get on here, something happens where I gotta cough or sneeze. I think I'm gonna start putting like a counter up on the thing and just make like a little ding noise every time it happens. Okay, so there we go. Now we got ourselves a nice good base color. Okay, so next thing that I can do is we can take another layer to kind of brush over what we have. So I'm gonna like take the next one. I'm gonna hit Command and take that same mask with me and mask it out just so I don't go outside. Okay, so I want to kind of, we're going to switch to an airbrush. So again, if you don't have an airbrush, there's millions of them to download. I'm just going to kind of lightly brush over a suit. And then these lines that are closer to the outside, I'm going to hit up more than the inside ones. Okay. So now we can kind of still see to the gray. Um, see what that looks like on the skull. Yeah, we're going to do something else with that area. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I want to add an even brighter tone to that. So just this outside area, I'm going to lightly switch to a yellow. So I'm like way out here. You see me stroking it on the outside here. And what that does is allow me to just kind of creep in with the color and not be overbearing. And then we got kind of some gradient going to it. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I want to um, go to my lines layer. Okay. Again, I'm going to hit Command and grab that mask and mask that off. And then what I can do is I can come and get this kind of an orange tint. Let's make sure we're actually on our layer that we need to have it on. Right? And I can kind of go over the outside of my lines and kind of fade it in. Right? I can move down more of a red for this top layer. Okay? And go down even darker for the very, very edge of it. Okay? And then I'm going to switch back to a yellow and get these inside lines because you can see what it's doing. It's kind of brushing over the lines and blending that color in. Okay, and then I want to kind of shrink my brush down and maybe highlight this area a little bit more, but I don't want to really touch the skull too much on that one. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back down to this little layer that we did here, and we're going to kind of go for this kind of an orangey tint. Again, just in certain spots. I'm going to hit up the skull in its darker areas. Actually, let's do this. Let's do that on a separate layer. And the reason being is I can then control the opacity of it. So we'll come in here and just hit up around these dark regions. And then I can take the opacity. Actually, let's play with something. Let's see what a overlay looks like. Switch back to normal. Let's just mess with the opacity. Let's turn that down. It's about right here. Like that. Okay. So now I want to get this kind of a glow effect going. Okay, so we're going to go to the layer above. Alright, now here's the key. We still want to use our mask from the last layer. Okay, but I want to make sure that I don't go too crazy with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do an inner glow of white. Okay, and then I'm going to do an outer glow. Kind of has like an orangey yellow tint to it. Okay, so first if I just kind of paint over, you're going to see it's filling in the whole thing, right? And it's a really, 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 really bright glow. Right? So if I switch that to an overlay, it'll take it down some. And then I can also play with the opacity. And then maybe switch to kind of like an orange again to bring back some of these outer areas. Okay, and then switch back to that red again. Alright. Let's hit up some more of that orange down in here. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, so that's going to take care of that. What we want to do now is to give it a good background. So we're going to come down here and I am just going to add a new layer and just call it BG for background. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go simple with it, right? I'm just going to start with a black so it makes it stand out more against that. Okay, and then what I want to do is we want to find a brush that's going to, so the brush I'm about to use, what I want you to do is go find, right? So if you come to, if you have Photoshop, you can download these Kyle's concept brushes from Photoshop, and then we can come down to things like these clouds. Okay, and I can start with this intensely bright yellow and see what that looks like. Okay, so like I don't like the way that that brush looks, so we can switch to another one. Let's try some wispy clouds. It's gonna be too thin. Actually, let's see if there's a smoke brush in here. I believe there's a smoke brush in there somewhere. There we go. Okay. What in the world just happened? There we go. Let's try that again. Okay, so that's gonna eat up a lot of my computer. So let's find another smoke billowing. So I'm just gonna kind of build up like a makeshift flame kind of look, right? And I'm just gonna slowly work my way out. Actually, let's just use the same method we did before. The actual fire on the head. Okay, let's take that. Let's do a new layer on top. And let's switch back to an airbrush. Okay. We can do the same thing we did before. We can kind of take the orange. Oops. Let's mask that off, shall we? Let's grab what we got. And let's just hit a mask. That way we can stay inside where we need to be. That is not the right orange. Let's go right here. Let's do down to a reddish orange. And go down to a red just for the final. Alright. Let's see. Now let's build. Let's build on top of that. Let's see what we can come up with here. We're going to do a glow. Inner glow. And outer glow. Okay, so let's kind of build that up. And we're on the wrong layer. Make sure you picked on that there. Okay, we can erase back some of this. Bring that out some more right here. Let's do opacity. Take that back some. Okay, and then I'm going to come behind what I have. Let's command. Let's hit command on that layer again, just so we can keep outside. Now what I want to do is we want to add this mess inside of here by just circling around it. Okay, and then I'm going to go select inverse. Alright, now I'm going to take my brush again, and I'm going to go to Kyle's concept brushes again, and we're going to go find another cloud. Let's see. Let's start with puffy clouds. Make it big. There we go. Okay. So I'm kind of sticking with the same color. Okay, I'm going to build that out. Build that up. Right? We want to kind of come up in color some, make it a little bit more intense. Right around the flame area. Okay, so if I hit Command D and turn that off real quick, it's kind of like what it looks like. So let's do this. Let's get rid of. So I kind of like the way the background is. So that was a good test run. Let's do that. Let's get rid of all of that by simply picking black and just paint over everything. Okay, I can go ahead. Let's get rid of those two layers there. Make sure it's just those flaming layers. Let's just switch to regular hard brush and fill it all in. Okay, and then let's just do that again over the background. We'll switch back to the poofy cloud. Okay, we'll go to that kind of orange color. And kind of poof that cloud out. Almost like it's smoke is billowing. Okay, the next thing we're going to kind of go a little brighter for the center here, and I'm going to shrink the brush down some. Okay, because we want a little bit more intensity towards the inside portion. And we'll go really bright close to the body. Okay. To really enhance the glow of that. So let's go out to this red. Oops. It's supposed to be red, sir. Let's come down some. And just hit up the outside edge. Okay. And then we can do this cool effect where we kind of just grab everything. That is the Ghostrider portion, right? Actually, we can take the background part. Let's just click on that. We'll go to Filter. We'll go to Blur. We'll go to Gaussian Blur. And what that will allow us to do is bring more of the focus on Ghostrider himself. So let's see, if we start at 0, that's what we're looking like. So let's bring it out. And have a little bit more in the bag with that. Okay, so we can see what that looks like. I am so sorry. Alright, so now that we have that in place, you can either go with or without the background. If you just want it to be all black and stand out. A couple other things I want to do is we're going to grab one of the snow brushes. Let's see, snowfall mix. Okay, and I'm going to go to another layer. We're going to add inner glow of white, and this time we're going to do an outer glow closer to a yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to pick kind of like an orangey color. And if you notice, that outer glow is too much. So if we just double click on that, right, we can take down the spread and keep the size up. Okay, so I can erase that out. And then what I can do is increase my brush size. And we can make these little glowing embers. Coming off, right? Then I could go and change the color more to like a yellow. And now it looks like we have this big flaming thing going with our Ghostrider, right? So that's going to do it for our little video on painting Ghostrider. Like I said, I was just kind of in the middle of like working on it and playing around. Just wanted to share with you guys. You got a chance to work with me. So if you like what you saw and you want to see more, hey, just let me know down in the comments. Leave a like, share, subscribe. Let me know what else you want to see. Um, Other than that, let's see. Let's do one more thing. Okay. Let's go back to an airbrush. Let's try something here. I just want to see what it looks like. Okay. So let's go down to this kind of an orange color. And we're going to come to this glow layer that we had here. Okay, so we're going to kind of to yellow. Let's try white. See what that does. Like that there. Let's go yellow. So if you wanted to have eyes in there, you could. But what I'm going to do is leave that off. So yeah. Anyway. Edit. Redo brush tone. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. And until next time, I will see you in the next one. And remember to keep sketching, alright? Bye.